So for me, finance is about opening the system, not just closing the books. And with opening the system, what I mean is actually making insightful what the organization is achieving, can achieve. And that's not just looking back. That's not just current business performance, but that's also linking financial and non-financial performance indicators to create an image on which the whole of the organization can be steered. For me, it's not just inspirational for finance to be a business partner and not just focus on risk and controls, because there's actually a very strong downside when finance is focused too much on the risks and the controls. Operational reality is the heart of the business. If there's too much focus on the risk and controls, then the operational reality gets closed off from finance. But then when risks start to materialize, when controls are no longer working, that's also closed off from finance. So even from the perspective of being in control, you need to be open to the whole of the organization and have a good understanding of what is happening there. When I walk into an organization, the way I assess whether finance is actually helping to see what's going on is twofold. It's one, what is actually being reported. Our management report focus on achieving the strategic goals, or is it just numerous versions of a P&L? And the other element, what I focus on is how do people within the organization, so within finance and outside of finance, talk about each other. If something goes without saying, actually highlighting it doesn't make any sense. So if I walk into an organization and collaboration goes without saying, and for me, it's like a spark of joy. And I tend to give a compliment and express, the joy it gives me to see that it goes without saying that for this organization, it actually works like that. And then what I encounter is that people are surprised. Like that startled, why are you saying this? Because it goes without saying. That is the bread and butter of a good functioning finance. It's about showing where the numbers are going. It's about showing that revenues are not keeping up with personnel costs. And if you continue on this route, you will need to lay off so many people. It's about showing that working capital is not well managed and that cash flows or working capital management cannot keep up with the decline in cash flows. That is bread and butter of finance. So finance is kind of doing its minimum. Already then, it prevents an organization from so many hazards that could happen. If cash flow prognoses are wrong, disasters will happen. Massive disasters. If cost and revenue aren't tracked properly, substantial layoffs are very likely to follow. So a well-functioning finance function is the lifebone of any organization. Opening up the system is actually linking operational information to financial information, so that the steering becomes better. Just financial information in itself is already of great importance, because even if it's just financial information, it might not help you reach strategic goals, but at least then it helps you prevent strategic disasters.